Oh, hi guys. Just thought that I would transmat here today, just for the sake of the video. It's not about transmatting though, it's actually about inventory management, because a lot of you guys have asked me to do a guide on inventory management, and so I thought today is the day that I'm going to make a guide for Destiny 2 inventory management. Give you some tips and tricks on how to manage your vault, your character inventory, the Postmaster and everything. So without further ado, welcome to Gaming Watcher. My name is Rolson, and in this video I'll talk about inventory management. So a recurring problem in Destiny is inventory management. You get so much shit all the time that it's hard to keep track of, and it's hard to know what you can safely dismantle and what you should keep. And you only have 500 slots in your vault, so you can't save everything. So you need some way of knowing what to dismantle, what to keep, and also some things you can get back from your collections tab, but that's not everything. So I'll just in this guide go through every inventory management system that we have in Destiny, how to manage them properly, and what you can safely dismantle and what you can get back from these collections. So first of all, we have the character screen. On each gear slot here, you have 9 slots. And so you can carry a lot of gear on you, but they quickly get filled up. And most of the gear that you get, you can just safely dismantle, like all the blue gear, except when you're power leveling, because sometimes the blue gear would actually be higher than your current power level, and then it's best to either save it or infuse it into the legendary or exotic weapons that you're using, so you keep raising your power level. Also, it's important to check for guard rolls before you dismantle something. I use the app called Little Light that you can find in the App Store for both iOS and Android. It tells you, it marks all of the gear that it has guard rolls on it, so you can just look in there and then safely dismantle all of the gear that is not a guard roll. And if I don't have time to check that, I usually just go to my vault. You can also put stuff into the vault from the app Little Light, but actually a lot of times I actually go to the tower. Wow, I had no idea that they actually did this now. Manage your vault out of game with apps built by Bungie and the Destiny community. Oh shit, they actually started advertising for Destiny Item Manager. That's awesome, man. That's awesome to the guys who made Destiny Item Manager. So Destiny Item Manager is another app that you can use for item management. It's actually really nice that they're advertising this year. So go look at Destiny Item Manager, for example. So I will go to my vault, and if I don't have time to look at guard rolls and stuff, I will just put the stuff in my vault that I'm not gonna use for the particular activity that I'm going into, and then I'll just look at it later and see, was it a guard roll, do I have to keep it, or what's going on. All the stuff that you're not gonna use, so for example all of the blue pieces of gear, dismantle them. There's no reason to keep them. If they are a higher power level, infuse them into something that you actually want to use, but otherwise just dismantle them. If you are in your character screen here, you can go down a page and you will see your sparrows here and your ships, and this also will get filled up pretty quickly. So sometimes you'll need to go in and dismantle some of these, and now this is where the collections tab come in, because in the collections you basically have everything that you have earned, and some of the things you're able to get from your collections. So for example, this ship that I got that I always use this ship, and I know it's ugly as fuck. I know it's ugly, that's why no one uses it, that's why it's unique, that's why I use it. You got it in the 0-hour mission by completing a very tedious and complicated puzzle. So it's actually pretty hard to get, but it's just ugly as fuck, so no one uses it. So that's why I use it. So this ship, for example, if I had dismantled this ship, so you can see if I left click here, I can reacquire this ship, and it costs me some legendary shards and some glimmer. I can just reacquire it, and it's like that with all of the ships and all of the sparrows and all of the ghost shells. So pretty much all sparrows, ships and ghost shells you can just dismantle. If you don't have room for any more, just dismantle them. You can always get them back from your collections. And they actually give you legendary shards and quite a bit of glimmer when you do that. So if you need legendary shards or glimmer, that's a nice way of getting it without even losing anything. Another thing about collections is that you can also get weapons back, but there's a very big limitation on this. And that is, you cannot get weapons back that has random rolls. So that is most weapons. So you see, all of these weapons are so old that there's not random rolls on them. But if we go further, see, like, you cannot acquire randomized gear, it says here. So all of this that is randomized, you can't reacquire. So you really gotta think about what you want to dismantle and what you want to keep, because most weapons you can't reacquire. Why is that word so hard for me to say? Most weapons you can't reacquire. Most exotics though, you can reacquire because they have a fixed set of perks. Here you can see all of your mods. This is actually a nice way to kind of get a hang of all of the mods that you have and what affinity they have. I'll make a guide about mods and armor and affinities and so on, so I won't get into detail about that here. But this is actually a nice way to kind of get an overview of all of the mods that you have. So you can kind of think about what builds you can make. Flare, in here you have all of your shaders. That's another thing I actually want to talk a little bit about, because shaders can quickly fill up your inventory. And if you go into your inventory, you have all of these consumables, you have modifications, but then you have shaders down here. And see, I have dismantled most of my shaders because I don't want them filling up my inventory, and it quickly does. It's quickly filled up with shaders, but you can just like dismantle them. You will get some legendary shards and you will get some glimmer for it. And I would much rather have that than have a bunch of shaders lying around. And then I can always go in to my collections here and find the shaders if I want to put on a special shader for my gear. So sometimes I will actually spend some time just looking around in here on all the shaders that I've got and see if I should give my gear a new look. Right now the shader that I'm using is this one, in combination with another one actually. I've got two shaders on, but I think this one is really cool. I just got the, it's an Iron Banner shader. Just see if I can find it here. This one. I've got this one on my helmet and my cape. And you got all of the stuff in here. You got all of the emblems. You got all of the transmat effects, ornaments and stuff. Finishers as well. So all of that you can just delete if it fills up your inventory, and then you can always get it back from your collections. That is why the collections are there. So let's have a look at this inventory screen. So this is divided into three categories. It's consumables, which is these things you use pretty often because it's like planetary resources, it's like Vanguard tokens, Crucible tokens, Iron Banner tokens and so on that you can turn in. Or it's like quest items like this one, memory fragments. You can turn those in with the Exo Stranger on Europa, and it's stuff like upgrade modules that you will use to infuse your stuff, enhancement prisms and so on. So this screen is usually filled up with stuff that I need. So if I need room here, I will look for example, tokens, and I will go to the vendor, to Zavala for example, so you can turn in your tokens up here, right? Another thing that I do if I need room in my inventory is stuff like this, Charge of Light, because it's so seldom that I actually play the Blind Well in the Dreaming City, and this is what you use these for, especially if it's a tier 1 for example. I'll just discard that because it's so, like, you can just go to the Blind Well and see if the event is going on and play it if someone has started it, and once you complete it once, you will probably get these Charge of Light tier 3, and then you can just use those from there on. So that is something that I usually will just dismantle if I need room. So here on the modifications you will have mods, and you will have stuff like transmat effects. That's actually a cool effect. And most of these, like I showed you, you can get back from your collection. So you can just dismantle this and you will get legendary shards and you will get glimmer. It's like having stuff lying around at home that you could sell and get the money for it instead. So clean up your room, goddammit. The last thing I want to cover is the Postmaster. The Postmaster works like this. Every time you play an activity, if you don't have room in your own inventory for the loot that you get from the activity, it will be sent to your Postmaster. So always go here and look if there is something that you missed from some activity that you've been playing. You can then pick up all of these items that you got, or you can just dismantle them straight up if you know that you don't have use for them. Now you can see I don't have room for all of this stuff. I don't have room for any of these engrams because, as you can see, when I go to my inventory, my engrams are filled up. I have all of these fucking umbral engrams filling up my inventory. So what I do about that is I go to the helm, which is the seasonal area. I know that some of you don't have access to the helm. I have read that the way you access it is by, like, you unlock it by playing the Proving Grounds activity on Nessus. So if you have that unlocked, then you can go play Nessus Proving Grounds or whatever. You have to go do that, and then you will unlock the helm. And then you can go to the helm, and then you can turn in all of your umbral engrams in the helm. And I'll just show you where you do that. At the umbral decoder, you can go and you can decode your umbral engrams, and you will get gear from them. I have another engram though in my inventory, as you can see. This one, the Eververse engram. And the way I turn this in is just by opening up the director and going to the store tab on the far left, and you will get this screen up, and you just click the engram and then you got it turned in. Okay, so this was the inventory management guide and my personal tips on how to best manage your inventory in Destiny 2. So that was it, guys. I hope this guide is useful to you guys. This is a part of my beginner guide series. I'm trying to do all of the guides that I would have wished that I had when I start playing Destiny. So if you think these guides are helpful, please leave a like on them. And if there's something specific you want me to do a guide about, just write a comment and I'll probably do the guide, because I listen a lot to you guys, what you actually want me to do guides on. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.